Alright, now it's time for Hiru's Q&A number 19. For those of you who are new to this, the numbers are arbitrary. They don't really mean anything. I go over a lot of repeat questions. You don't have to watch them in any kind of order. I basically just talk about the videos I've made from the last time I made a Q&A video, and then I answer some questions. And then sometimes I'll ramble on about tangents that I go on sometimes. I don't really go on too many tangents though. Anyways, this one has actually been 2 weeks since my last one. I originally wanted my Q&A videos to be every 2 weeks. Lately, for like the past 6 months or so, they've been like every 3 weeks, sometimes every 4 weeks. Not too bad. The videos are long, and I don't really like having too many of them on the channel anyway, so it's cool. I should also mention, I really don't like having like hour-long videos on my channel. That's why I've stopped putting my VODs up. Because I started streaming through YouTube, and YouTube would automatically just upload the VOD after I did it on Saturdays. And I was like, oh, well, I'll just leave it there. And they were actually getting like around 2,000 views each, which is about as much views as my Dave and Deb videos. So I was like, oh, well, I mean, that's not a lot of views, but it looks like some people are watching it. Oh well, I'll just leave them up. I don't really like having hour-long videos on my channel. And then I just left it up for a couple of weeks, and I'm not gonna do that anymore just because I don't really like having 2 1-hour-long videos. 2 to 3 hour long videos, because they've been getting longer lately on my channel. Because if someone goes to the channel, this is what I do. If I'm going to subscribe to someone new, I look at all their previous videos because I liked one of their videos to see if I'm going to subscribe to them or not. Because I always check their channel first before I subscribe, because I want to see if they're going to be cluttering my sub box with a whole bunch of crap I don't want to watch. And if I see a whole bunch of like 2 or 3 hour long videos, and then they put out like, you know, one of the videos that I actually liked, you know, like once a month or something, I might refrain from subscribing. And my channel, I put out like 1 video a week, 1 highly edited video that's like less than 10 minutes, and then you see a whole bunch of like 3 hour long stream VODs, and that just doesn't look very good. It's all about presentation, so I'm gonna stop doing those. I'll still put up VODs, but I'll edit them down to like less than 20 minutes. They'll still go up on the channel, but they'll be really, really heavily edited down. I'm just going to take out all of the running around, and I'll leave in some of the interesting questions. I think it doesn't really take that long to edit them down. Maybe like an hour at most, hour or 2, which isn't really that long for editing a video. And ever since I stopped uploading the VODs, I've had a couple of people say that they really liked watching them. So I'll probably just make a new channel and just upload them there, because I don't want them on my channel anymore. So I'll be creating a new channel sometime in the future, and I'll just use it to upload my VODs, and that's it. So for all you who enjoy the 2 to 3 hour long stream VODs, they'll be coming back. I'll also upload the ones from previous that I had cut down. There was only like 2 of them, I think. Yeah, it was only just the past 2. It's a very recent thing I did, ever since like the last Q&A video. I think Iron Man-ish stream. Let's see, October 31st was the last one that actually went up. So yeah, all months I've been pretty much doing it like that. Okay, so yeah, that's with the VODs and shit. Let's see, what else? I'm basically just have my videos I've uploaded since my last Q&A video on screen right now. I'm just looking at that. Let's see, it looks like BlizzCon came out. Ooh, there's a lot to talk about in BlizzCon. I made a video about it. Top 10 coolest Warcraft things from BlizzCon. It's a 2-minute long video, and I basically just give cliff notes of all the cool and exciting things. It's really quick. It did pretty well, and I'm really glad that BlizzCon was that week, because that week was the week after Halloween, and the week before I had spent like all week editing, and I really just did not want to make a new video because it would take too much editing power, too much brain power. So I'm so glad BlizzCon came out, because like, oh, I can totally just just make a video real quick. And I was able to pump out the top 10 coolest Warcraft things, and I want to say it was 2 hours, but it might have been 4. I don't remember, to be honest. I could go back on my schedule and check, but I don't really want to. It took around 2 to 4 hours to make the video from start to finish. That's, writing the script, to recording the lines, to actually editing it, to then rendering it out, making the thumbnail. 2 to 4 hours. It was a really quick video, and it got about 9,000 views. That's not half bad. It's not great, but it might keep going up. Maybe. The one I made from when they announced Legion still gets views, and it's like around 50,000, so you never know with these kinds of things. Let's see, and then after that I made Legion class preview series, Priest. I basically just copy and pasted the thing where they did the class preview for Priest, because Priest is the class I play the most, and then I talk about Priest for about 45 minutes. It got a lot of dislikes, actually. 10 dislikes to 61 likes. Well, I don't blame it. I think some of the footage I used was laggy. Plus, it wasn't really presented that well. I kept trying to find out a good way to present, footage while I just read for 45 minutes. I don't really think I did a good balance between it. Let's see. And then the video after that, Into the Crypts behind the scenes. Oh yeah, that's the Patreon video. Only 2 of you people who are basically listening to this have probably have seen that. Those are the behind the scenes videos I do for the $3 and above Patreon things. Let's see, and then after that I did So Cute Team PvP Pet Battles. Alright, I was going to make a PvP pet battle for my channel. Actually, I think I was going to do it like right after this. I was actually planning to do it before I did the Q&A video, but whenever I put off the Q&A video, I end up just not doing it, and then it'll be like a week later, and it's like, oh shit, I should probably do that. So I'm doing this like first thing in the morning. Not really first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning I go running, and then I eat, and then I cool down because I increase my morning run to 4 miles, and I am just so tired after that. So let's see, the pet battle one. Oh yeah, I'm gonna start doing one pet battle video on my channel a week on Fridays as advertisement for my pet battle channel. When I made the pet battle video, it got about as many views as I thought it would, 2,000. That's not half bad. It's definitely not great, but that's exactly what I was expecting to get, about 2,000 views on that video. That 2,000 views, however, is more views than, all the pet battle videos on my pet battle channel from the past week. So I thought it would be good advertisement for that channel. I'll just feature all of my best teams, and then I'll probably feature some of the more weirder teams. I have about 100 teams on my pet battle channel since I make videos on there every day, so it's not going to be a problem to make one video a week for this channel. And it's literally just like a huge advertisement for my other channel. It's a legit video. It's exactly the same as a video I'd make over on my pet battle channel. It's just I'm just cherry picking the teams instead of just doing random teams whenever I feel like on the other one. So you only see some of my best teams or the most fun teams to play. And let's see, I think tomorrow or after this I'm probably going to do one of the Graves teams. I'll go over all the most OP teams first just to get them out of the way. And then I'll go over some of the more obscure ones, but that's like months down the line. Since one a week, that's only 4 videos a month. And that's not even enough time to cover all the best teams in like 2 months. I don't know, I think there's about 10 teams that are like really good, and I can make all of them. So I've got videos planned out for that for a while. No problems with that. The reception to it was positive-ish. It went exactly how I expected it. I have a pretty good gauge on how well some of my videos will do, and it did as well as I thought it would. And let's see, after that, I've got the history of priest racials. That video. I've had it, like, on my list of videos to make for a really long time. Ugh, damn it. I cramped a little. I even took my potassium pill. Oh, well, I just got back from my run like a few hours ago. I guess I'm still not completely cooled down from it. Anyways, history of priest racials. That That video, I had plans for it for a long time. And I finally just decided to write the script for it a few weeks ago. I just scheduled it. I was like, okay, you're going to write a script at this time. And when it came up my schedule, I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to go research it. And the research went very well. It's like, oh, cool. I was able to finish the research on this in about an hour and a half, which is like record time. I've never completed a history video that quickly before. And then getting the footage for it was pretty easy because I already have a BC private server. I have a couple of private servers installed on my computer just because if I need footage from something that's not in the game anymore, I just hop on one of the private servers and get footage there. Easy peasy, especially since the private server I use has instant level 70s, so making a level 70 of all the races was pretty easy to get footage for that. And I also tried out a new editing style on the history of priest racials, where I put like a border, and then I have the footage like in the bottom right hand corner, and then I have like all the thumbnails, not thumbnails, the ability icons and all the text to the left. Makes it look like I'm some kind of professional doing a video and not someone who's just kind of winging it. That's how I do all of my editing. I just wing it. I just kind of do stuff that I think looks cool, or that I've seen someone else do, and I want to see if I can do it as well. Or just what's easiest, what's fast, what I can get away with if I'm being lazy. History of priest racials, though, I actually put a lot of effort in that to make it look like I know what I'm doing, when I actually really don't. I'm pretty sure about 90% of the people on YouTube don't know what they're doing, and they just kind of wing it just like I do. In fact, I'm very sure of that. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some of them who actually have taken editing classes and know what they're doing. But, I mean, I have taken some editing classes too. I know what I'm doing. I also have lots of experience, but mainly just from day one until now, I still just pretty much wing it, and I just do whatever I feel like it. So, history of priest racials, it looked kind of professional-ish. I wanted to make it look like that just to give off the illusion of it. Because, for one, if it did well, which it did, it has a huge like to dislike ratio. Like almost 300 likes to 4 dislikes, which is unheard of for these kinds of videos. It got 9,000 views in a couple of days, which is pretty good. I expect that to keep going up, because if it just only got 9,000 views, that wouldn't be work all the time, but I expected the video to get more views over time through search traffic. If it doesn't, I'll be very surprised. And since it did so well, lots of positive feedback on it, I think I can totally just copy the way I did that one for the rest of my history videos. Because the way I did that, with the borders and shit, and making it seem like, you know, it was like a PowerPoint presentation or something from a corporate office. I mean, it's nothing like that, but it looked, you know, professional-ish. It was actually a pain in the ass to set up, but once I have it set up, it's actually really easy to just copy and paste that. And it actually makes making the whole video really easy. It's like it's a really long setup process that will pay off in the long run because it makes all the subsequent videos easier to make. The only downside for that is I can't really add some bells and whistles to it to make it look more interesting. I actually thought it was kind of boring looking. It's like, well, I mean, it has like the text on the left hand side and has the icons, and it tells you everything in sequence with my words that I'm saying. And of course you've got the footage on the right hand side, which is just kind of a general footage. I mean, I'm using the ability I'm talking about, but none of the abilities I'm talking about are all that flashy. So I thought the video kind of looked boring, but it also looked professional-ish. I don't know. I wish there was another word I could say, because I've said professional like 10 times in a row now. I can't really think of any other words for it. It looks like I know what I'm doing, but it also looks kind of boring. And it also really puts me into a bubble of like I can't really break out if I wanted to, you know, put one of my shitty drawings or flash animations in there. It would look so out of place compared to everything that's so neat and orderly. That's it. Yeah, it looks very neat and orderly. So if I wanted to do some of my bells and whistles editing like I do in all my other videos, where there is no constraints like that. Can't really do that, but at the same time it makes making them really easy. So I give up clean and orderly for having more fun with the editing and making the video a little bit more interesting, or I can just leave it as is, where it looks like it's I don't know, a History Channel documentary from back when they were good. And it just tells you the information straight up and tells you a little bit of interesting facts, and it just has appropriate imagery to what you're saying, and it looks all neat and orderly. I don't know, I'm still not totally sold on it. I'll probably do it again a couple other times, but I'll see. It had a positive reaction, but I think it's kind of boring compared to what I usually do. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, top 10 coolest things from BlizzCon video has 350 likes to 2 dislikes. It actually has a better like to dislike ratio than my History of Priest-Racials video. And they both have around the same amount of views too. Huh. You see, top 10 coolest things from BlizzCon, that video, I had tons of bells and whistles. I kind of just winged it a whole bunch of times. I even did like a fake lip sync at the beginning. See, these ones, they get more. They get more positive feedback than the boring, orderly orderly ones that I did with the History of Priest-Racials. Alright, and then there's just one more video after that, Iron Man-ish Hunter, level 18 to 21. That's just the stream VOD that I edited together and I put out today. I don't expect that to get a lot of views. Alright, so that's it for all the videos I've made from last time. Maybe I should go and talk about, and actually just do the Q&A portion, instead of just wasting time talking about random shit. Speaking of wasting time talking about random shit, the Dave and DevBot series. Okay, so I had an editor for it. Things were going well. He made 2 videos for me. The first one was kind of rough, but the second one he made was a lot better. And I thought it was a pretty good one. I had to just do a little edit on my own part, and it came out okay. And then I sent him the script for another one, and it's been almost 2 months since then, and I haven't heard back from him, or maybe just 1 month. No, I don't know. It's been a long time. I haven't heard back from him yet, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to hear from him. So I had another editor come to me, one who I had worked with in the past, who flaked out on me before, and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry for flaking out. I want to try doing another video." I was like, okay. Here's this video I have all set up for my other editor. Let's see if you can do it. And that was about a week ago. He sent me a little thing to show that he's working on it, but I haven't really heard from him in a week. A week isn't really that bad. Those videos do take a while to make. So hopefully the video will get made and he won't flake out on me again. But I'm not really, holding my breath. You see, the thing is, like, I would understand if they flaked out, if they just didn't want to feel like doing it anymore, because I was just asking them to do it as like a favor, but I am paying these people. I don't get it. I'm like ridiculously nice. I go out of my way to compliment specific things because I know how to work with people. Oh well, that just happens sometimes too. Even if you do everything right. Well, I mean, not everything right. I could have offered more money, but I'm already losing so much as is. Anyways, what I was thinking about doing was just making the videos longer, and I'll just do it myself. Currently, each Dave and DevBot episode is about 3 minutes long, and if I already have a whole bunch of scripts for those made, so I think if the next one gets made by the editor, if he does end up finishing it, which would be great, I'll end up just like combining a couple of scripts, because I've been trying to have like an overarching plot to it. That way it would be really funny if they just ignored it and just did random shit. It's everything I do, and that's just to set up a joke. I put a lot of details, a lot of time and effort into setting up just elaborate, stupid jokes. Like, the whole plot to it is they're agents for Wrathion, and they're fighting against the Burning Legion. Something, Warcraft generic shit. But they don't give a shit, and they just go off and do random crap. And I have so many great story ideas. I mean, scripts written. not story ideas, I already actually like have them all written out, of them just doing really, really random stuff that I think is hilarious in context to what they're supposed to be doing. Some of those will totally just be one-off 3-minute videos, but I can totally combine some of them. Because some of the ones I've made, they're like 3 episodes long to continue the, like, one thing, or 2 episodes. And I'll just go in and combine them, make it a little bit longer. And I think I'll also stop calling them Dave and DevBot and just call it by whatever they're doing. Like, usually when I start the videos, I go Dave and DevBot and then what they're doing. How about I just go what they're doing, and then I'll put in the corner like D&D number 8 or something. You know, Dave and Dev, D&D. Get it? Dungeons and Dragons. That way I can trick people into watching the video. Because it seems like they don't get a lot of views. I totally get it. It's not like they're the best things in the world, and they're not really the most best looking either. Like, if you compare them to someone who actually knows what they're doing with machinimas, like Nixium, or that one girl who does Noble's machinimas for some of his videos, those ones are great. Dave and DevBot looks like garbage compared to those, so I totally understand it. But I still have so much fun making them and writing out the stories for it, so I'm not going to quit those anytime soon. It's just, for those like 10 of you who are fans of it, the videos are going to take a little bit longer to come out than they already have. So far, I've been doing like 1 a month on average. I wanted to do like 1 every week, but that's not going to happen. So instead, I'll just make longer videos. You know, instead of making 3-minute long ones, they'll be like 5 to 6 minutes, or even some of them will be even longer than that. But yeah. Alright, now on to the actual Q&A portion. I had to pause the thing for a little bit. You see, my house is like right in front of a small park, and there's rarely ever kids playing there, like ever, and I only ever record footage when like all the kids are at school. And even when kids play, they're usually quiet. But while I was recording the last part, the kids who happen to be at the park, because I guess today is like whatchamacallit, half day, late start or something, I don't know, where the kids get out of school early. I know that because I went running and I saw like a whole bunch of cars next to the school that's near my house. I was like, oh shit, okay, I'm going to take a detour around the school, that way I don't have to deal with that. So there's kids playing at the park and they're screaming. I'm like, the park is, you know, across the street, so it probably won't pick up since my room is facing the park too. Maybe it won't get picked up, but if you do hear some screaming, it's because it's like the super rare chance that kids are actually playing at the park, and that these kids at the park just happen to be allowed. Like, it's really rare. Usually just teenagers hang out there and just sit there, and I don't know why teenagers hang out there all the time. They really just love sitting at that park and doing nothing for hours. Teenagers, you guys are boring. I mean, they sit there and text. I guess they're doing something. There's not too many kids there. Anyways, on to the actual, Q&A portion. I don't want these videos to be over an hour anymore, so I'm totally rushing through this and cutting off my tangents early. Razus33 says, do you Skype? If you do, can I have it, please? Nope. That's 'cause I love you. Also, a real question. How do you find time to do all your stuff every day? Like WoW, videos, anime, real life, and other games, and a whole bunch of stuff. Tell me some tactics, I guess. Okay, well, to answer the first one, since I'm pretty sure it's just a joke question, yeah, I'm not gonna give out to my Skype. I have a Skype. I use it very rarely, sometimes only to talk to friends. And if I'm doing arenas, which I haven't done in months, I have a Skype. I don't really ever use it for like anything. And I will never give out my Skype info because that's a really good way to track someone down. I mean, I have like because Skype will have like the options like, ooh, you want to see my IP address? Here. It's real easy to fucking see. Just look at my profile and you can see it. No, I have all those checked off, but even then, I don't trust Skype. Skype is a huge security risk. And if you're somewhat popular on the internet doing anything, people are going to want to DDoS you just for the lols, and I'd rather not people know where I live. That way I don't get people messing with me just for the lols. You really don't want people to find out anything about your personal life. And I've been pretty careful about that ever since I started using the internet, because I have a dad that I don't want finding me because I don't like him. So even if you, I have all my Facebook stuff hidden too. I've been careful about hiding everything about where I live or who I am since I've been using the internet. And it just happened. That was even before I started doing YouTube stuff. So I have all my bases covered. And Skype is no exception to that. If someone does find a way to find me, I'll be surprised. I'm pretty sure there's a way to do it, but I have been really careful about that for years. So yeah, no Skype. Also, the real question, how do you find stuff to do every day? Well, I schedule my day. I use Google Calendars to do the, hours stuff. Like right now it says 2 to 3 p.m. Q&A. And then 3 to 4 p.m. I have something else planned that I'm not going to say. Because I'm probably not going to do that. I'll probably do pet battles instead and just change that. So I have everything planned out. I can go back, months from now and tell you exactly what I was doing, at 3 p.m. because I have it all planned out. It's a good way to keep track of your time to see if you're actually to get a really good idea of how much time you're actually wasting. So I track all my time. In addition to Google Calendars, though, I have 2 other things that I use. I also have this thing called Todoist. This thing, I have it set up to tell me what to do. Todoist, I have it set to tell me every 2 weeks to make a Q&A video. Today, it says make a pet battle video, make a Yu-Gi-Oh video, raid at 8 p.m., and it even tells me what animes come out today, which is Shimon Sample and Beautiful Bones. And also that one shitty magical school one I'm watching too. I should add that to it. Yeah, so I have it set to tell me what animes are airing that day. That way I know which ones to watch. And let's see, it says yesterday I was supposed to do a pet spotlight video, but I didn't do it. I'll probably have to do that too today. And then 2 days ago were 2 other videos that I'm probably going to change to a Wednesday task, because I'll do those later on today as well. And then it says tomorrow, the only anime that comes out is The Perfect Insider, and I have to put my trash out because trash comes on Friday mornings. And then on Friday it says to do laundry, and let's see, it looks like Norogami, Ushio Tora, and Miss Chronochrome comes out on Friday. Of course, it'll also tell me to raid on Thursday. It doesn't tell me right now because I haven't checked it for yet. So I just put everything on that list, and I check the to-do list every day to see what I'm going to do for the day, and then I'll plan it out in Google Calendars. And then I also have a physical planner that I can write on right next to me. My physical planner says Wednesday, Q&A video. Note, make D&D videos longer. Also, stop calling them Dave and Devbot. So if I ever have something I want to plan out, but I don't feel like typing, or I don't want to open up one of the other things, I just write it down on my planner that's always open right next to me. And it's pretty easy. I also like to use that if I'm making a list, or if I just want to write something down, but I don't want to save it in a document somewhere. It's really great for just taking notes, and I can look at them later, and I can always just look back and look at notes from other times, or I can just use it from my planner and add it to Todoist if something I need to do later on, or I can just add it to Google Calendar later. So I have 3 layers of planning stuff out. So I plan everything. Now, how do I plan everything out? WoW, video games, anime, real life, and other games, and a whole bunch of stuff. For WoW, I just do that when I wake up. Not when I wake up, I wake up and I sometimes render videos at night, so I'll look at them to see if they rendered out correctly, they didn't error out or anything. It's rare, but it does happen sometimes, so I do have to check the videos to make sure they don't have some kind of glitch in them. And then I'll set them to upload on the different channels while I go running. I usually go running for about an hour. And then when I come back, I shower, I eat, And while I'm eating, that's when I watch anime. That's how I get all my anime done. Every time I eat, I watch anime. I'll watch an episode of something. It's almost weird watching anime without eating. It's like I could be eating right now, but no. So my Kindle is basically an anime watching machine. I go in the kitchen, just set that down, and I just have it on while I cook. I don't really like cooking, so basically if I'm making like bacon and eggs, I'll set the bacon down, and then I'll go watch anime. And then about a minute or two later, I'll go back and like flip it and go back, watch more anime. And then I'll go back, do the eggs. Stuff like that. Most of the stuff I make is pretty quick, though. So I get all my anime done watching while eating. And if I watched all the videos for the day, because it looks like today there's only 2 animes that came out. Shimon Sample and Beautiful Bones. I already watched Shimon Sample. I still have Beautiful Bones to watch, but I'm going to eat more than one other time today. So that's when I start watching other shows that I've, been catching up on. I think right now I'm watching Gintama and A Channel. So that's when I do that. And when I'm not making videos, if I have free time, I don't watch anime. That's when I play, Heroes of the Storm, when I play other video games. So I take a break every 2 or 3 hours, because if you just work all day without any breaks, that's crazy. That's a good way to burn yourself out. So I have scheduled breaks as well, and during those breaks, I'll play like Heroes or go on WoW and do something, or I'll just browse Reddit or watch YouTube videos. Rarely do I ever watch anime during those breaks, because at the end of the day, once 12 o'clock rolls around, I don't actually go to bed until 1:30, but once it hits 12 o'clock at night, that's when I stop doing work. I have work planned all day, but I take lots of breaks. So it's kind of like I'm working all day as soon as I wake up, but I do take breaks and I have fun with it. But as soon as 12 o'clock comes around, no more work. That's my time to watch anime or read. Because after 12 o'clock, I also, in addition to not doing any work anymore, I also have a rule where I don't play any video games. Because if I play video games before going to bed, there's a good chance I'll start dreaming about it. I hate dreaming about video games because it is the worst. I remember when I started playing StarCraft for the first time, and I played that all day until I went to sleep, and then I kept dreaming about pylons. I was like, fuck pylons, I don't care. I don't know why I keep building stuff and then sending out my scout probes to, go scout out, and building zealots and then getting gas, and it's just a super terrible thing to dream about because it's so active and it's like you're doing math in your brain, and it's not a good way to go to sleep. So I don't play video games before that time. So during that hour and a half I have that I give myself, I usually am in the middle of doing something, so I usually don't actually stop working until like around 12:30. So like for that hour before I go to bed, I'll either watch anime or read manga or read a book or a light novel. That's how I get some of my reading of manga done, is at night or during my breaks. Mostly at night, though. That's how I also read like all of the Overlord light novels. I just finished them up. I'm waiting for the 10th novel to come out now. Overlord was so good. I like the anime so much, I started reading the light novel, and now I finished them all. And I finished them all by just reading them at night from 12 to 1:30. Because reading before going to bed is fine. I don't, dream about reading. I don't think that's possible. So I watch anime from 12 to 1, or read manga, or read light novels, or I just read books. I have books to read too. I prefer reading books on my Kindle, though. I don't really like having the actual book because I like to read in my bed, and the Kindle is so convenient for just sitting there and scrolling through pages while laying down in bed. Well, a book is all like clunky and shit, and some of the books I have are really big, but I have them. So yeah, that's how I get everything done. Real life stuff, I don't really do real life stuff. Because, and raids, I have those scheduled out too. I raid 3 times a week, and I have my stream scheduled out too. I stream 2 times a week. I was thinking about switching my Wednesday stream to Thursday, though, because I wanted to just stream when we did farm content, But we've switched doing progression on Wednesdays and farm on Thursdays because we have more people on Wednesday. So I'm probably going to switch my stream from Wednesday to Thursday. I'll make sure to make a video about it. That way people will know. A quick little video, and then I'll set it to unlisted. The Saturday streams will stay the same, though. I just have all those planned out. And then Sundays is when I do my Metroidvania stuff. Like, if you're wondering when I ever get a chance to do those videos, I basically just have Sunday scheduled. Like, if you have anything else you haven't done for the week, do that. And then after you're done with that, just play your Metroidvania games all day until you have to raid at night. And then even after that, you can just play more Metroidvanias until 12 when you have to take a break and watch anime or read manga or stuff like that. So that's how I plan everything out. If there's any real life stuff, like if I get a message from a friend or something, I basically just stop what I'm doing and reply to that. That's how I fit in whatever real life stuff I actually do. I do have friends. I do talk to them sometimes, but I kind of live very far away from my closest friend, and I don't have a car currently because I don't really need one. Like, all of the stores are very close to my house. I could walk there, but I just borrow one of my sister's cars because they have a lot of cars. If I actually need one to go hang out with a friend, though, I could just borrow one of their cars too. I don't really need a car because there's so many of them here. Like, I live with my two sisters, and between the two of them, they have like 5 cars. So I can just borrow one of those, but my closest friend lives like 45 minutes away, and I don't like driving. That's too far away, so I usually just spend time with friends online and stuff like that. I'd really love to just move closer to them. That'd be great. Or make new friends who live really close to me. That way we can go out and do stuff, because I like leaving the house and doing stuff. I don't like just playing video games all the time. I mean, I do. I totally enjoy everything I do. It's just I like to do so many things. And I would love to go out and do stuff, but that's just not something that's going to happen soon. But I'll probably make changes for that in the future. But for now, if I get like a Facebook message from a friend or something, I'll just stop what I'm doing and talk to them. That's how I schedule that. So I schedule my time. That's how I'm able to do everything. And I have in my schedule, like, clauses. Like, if this happens, then I can stop doing this and work on this other thing. Or, I have all those breaks, so I have lots of time to do stuff, but, not enough time to, like, sit down and play Heroes for, like, 4 hours straight. That's something that's never going to happen. But I can sit down and play, like, a game or two, and then go do something else. Or on the weekends, I might do that. Just play Heroes for a couple hours, and then I'll feel like a lazy slob for not doing any work. So yeah, there's enough time to do all that stuff if you have a busy schedule, as long as you just schedule your time appropriately. A lot of people don't schedule their time. I know I didn't. I get a lot more done now that I do, but I didn't used to. It's a pain in the ass at first. It's not really that bad. Once you get used to it, it's pretty easy. Okay, now on to question number 2, after talking for 10 minutes about the first one. Dim Slayer says, I like how Blizzard are using old Warcraft 3 icons for their spells and haunts. They do. They use a whole bunch of recycled icons in there. They have been gradually updating them, though. Like, I remember Zagara had some of, like, the worst icons ever, and then they updated them to give them custom icons. I think ETC still has some really shitty ones, though, and so does Abathur. Not Abathur, Asmodon, the other A guy. I think that's the one I'm playing in my previous video. Yeah, he still has some of the shitty WoW icons for his abilities, or Warcraft 3 ones. They do update the icons every now and then, but I wouldn't put it past them to just leave those icons there forever. Let's see, next question. Elias says, putting lorem ipsum text into description to make it look like you've written something. I like it. So much slack, yet so potential. Also, I'm a consumer of a lot of forms of media. I know the feeling of knowing the end of something before it's revealed to the ordinary viewer / reader / listeners. That's why I love the few your conspiracy theory videos. Okay, so in the text of my video, At the very top, it says lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. For those of you who don't know, lorem ipsum is fake text that you can use to put in stuff. Like all of my editing softwares, like whenever I put text into a video, the default text is like the white one that's really big that says like, default text or something. I don't remember. I think it says sample text on it. In order to change it, you need to like pick a font and a color for it, and then you have to save a different default text. I could just put like sample text, but instead I put lorem ipsum dolor sit amet, or however much I can fit of it, as the default text, because it looks like real text. It means nothing though, but it looks like real text, so you have a really good indication of what the text is going to look like when you put it on the screen, because it's there. It's used by newspapers to like fill out borders and stuff. It's really useful for, if you're doing something where you need to put text and stuff. So I just put it there. Lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. It's real noticeable too. So it's real easy to remember to replace it with something else. So that's the default text for like all my videos, because you can set a default text. So you don't think YouTubers go and fill the descriptions with all those links every time they do it? No. They do it once on the default text, and every time they upload a video, the default description comes up, and then they can add to it. I just have lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. That way I have, those lines where I can just delete it and put something else there. Sometimes, though, I'm lazy and I just leave it there because I have nothing I want to say. I'm pretty sure I left it there on purpose, though, just because I literally had nothing to say, and I was like, well, let's just put some lorem ipsum there because it'll look like I wrote something. Or some people will notice what it is, because only people who actually have to work with, using filler text even know what lorem ipsum is. You just type in lorem ipsum into Google and it'll take you to a page where you can just copy and paste as much lorem ipsum as you want. They have like full pages full of lorem ipsum dolor sit amet text. It's fake text. None of the words actually mean anything, but it looks like they're real words. All right, so that's what that is. Okay, and the other one also is a consumer, lots of forms of media. Yeah, I am a huge consumer of lots of forms of media, so I know how things are going to end before they happen. And I always hope that they'll end differently, because I know how this is going to end, but I really hope it doesn't end this way just so it'll surprise me. So I give works of art major bonus points if they don't do what I expect them to. Even if other people watch them and are like, okay, that was kind of weird. And it's like, no, that was amazing. Don't you see why this is amazing? It's because they didn't follow the same formulas that everything else has. So I love interesting, unique stuff like that. It's probably why I liked Madoka Magica so much, or The World God Only Knows. Basically takes the tropes and just like shits all over them. It's great. Yeah, but whenever you're watching movies or TV shows with other people who aren't as avid viewers of, story-driven media like you are, it's a good idea to just not talk about the flaws. I used to do that sometimes. I even thought I was keeping it, really on the down low, like I wasn't really going all that out on it. But I gained like some kind of reputation for shitting over everything. It's like, oh, I bet Hiru won't like this movie because it's a Hollywood thing. It's like, no, I enjoy dumb movies sometimes. If I go into a movie and it doesn't take itself seriously, let's see, Transformers doesn't really take itself too seriously. I can enjoy just the dumb action in that. But if a movie tries to take itself seriously and it's just ridiculous, that's when it bothers me. But most of the time, I can enjoy comedies. One of my favorite animes to watch is like Slice of Life, where literally just nothing happens. It's like the anime equivalent of reality shows. I understand the joy from them, just as long as it's not trying to be something it's not. That's what some shows piss me off. So I actually have a very open view, and I give lots of different kinds of media a chance. And sometimes it just comes out mediocre. Most of the time I enjoy it, though, because I'm not a cynic. I don't, just hitting on everything for being like everything else. I enjoy tropes, too. But I kind of wish they would do it more the way I liked it. I'm just not a negative Nancy about it. I'll try to keep that stuff to myself. And I'll only offer criticisms on it if prompted, which usually never happens, or unless you're talking about the movie, like after watching a movie, then I'll probably do that. But if it's not asked, then I don't, because I know most people don't like to hear that the movie they enjoyed was actually garbage. It's like, okay, well, here's why the movie was garbage, but disregard everything I just said about why the movie sucked. Those fight scenes were awesome, so I don't really give a shit. Okay, so Voidtrine says, let's see. Sorry, LOL. I want to show up to your streams, but my schedule is really killing me. I'm trying though. Also, in the last Q&A, it was kind of late, so I forgot to gather all the comments in one take, nice and cleanly. Insert American rant here. For real though, I love Canada. In Sweden, we have the thing called Blocket. It's basically Swedish eBay, but they don't ever charge your sales. It's like a blog, but it's a real company. Blocket, huh? I think that was in response to me talking about how I sold like $400 or $500 worth of stuff on eBay, and then eBay charged me $150 for advertising fees. I was like, oh my god, fuck you, eBay. So a Blocket where you can sell that much stuff without having to pay anything to eBay, that'd be great. Todd Cobb says, what do you think about Blizz buying Candy Crush for $5.9 billion? Well, I think they paid a little bit too much for it. Other than that, I like Candy Crush. It's a fun game. I was a huge fan of Bejeweled back in the day. And Candy Crush is like a more fun version of Bejeweled. And I played it on my Kindle a lot. I never played it enough where I actually, ran out of lives. I played it until I got tired of the level and then I stopped. And then I come back to it sometimes. I'm a fan of Candy Crush, and I would love it if they put it into the game, into World of Warcraft. That'd be cool. That'd be a cool little mini game they could do. I don't really know why they bought it though, but good for them, I guess. Let's see. Razis33 has another question. Do you think the idea combine your Metroidvania and HOTS channel into one? That way, you will put a HOTS video one day, and the next day Metroidvania, then again HOTS, and so on. Twice more subs and less work, or am I wrong? Well, I mean, in theory, yeah, twice more subs, but that's kind of like defeats the whole purpose of why I have separate channels in the first place. I have separate channels because when I subscribe to stuff, I only care about like one specific thing they're doing. So when I make different channels, I basically fit them into a niche of doing one specific thing. I mean, there are some channels that get away with different, kinds of content. Like, if you're a video game reviewer, it'd be weird if you only reviewed, like one kind of game. But their thing is that they make review videos. Or if they do like highly edited things of video games, but like in a comedy form, like JonTron or the Video Game Donkey. They do a whole bunch of different video games, but the type of videos they make are always the same, where it's a highly edited comedy piece using video games as the mouthpiece for comedy. So yeah, I like channels that just do one specific thing, or do a couple of things that I like. Like Game Theory. They make videos about game theories for a whole bunch of different types of games, but the videos are always the same. They go super into detail about some random theory about a video game or movie theorist and so on, different movies, but they, do the same thing about all those different movies. So, if I combine Metroidvania and HOTS channel into one, that would be, like a Metroidvania Let's Play and a HOTS Let's Play, which are two completely different things. I mean, I guess they are both Let's Play videos, but they're of two completely different things. I am subscribed to some Let's Players, but I won't watch games. I won't watch them if they're playing a game I just don't care about. Like, I'll check out the first video, maybe if I've never heard of the game before, and if I like it, I'll watch the rest of it. But if they're playing a game I just do not give two shits about, I will not watch the video, and I'll just ignore it in my sub box. So these are two completely different types of games, so they're on two completely different types of channels, because that's what I would like other people to do. Lead by example. Or I just I only make videos about stuff I'd want to watch myself, or I make channels about stuff I would actually subscribe to. I'd subscribe to a HOTS only channel. I am subscribed to a few HOTS only channel. I'd subscribe to a Metroidvania only channel, except none of those exist except for mine, which would be great. Alright, okay, next question. Oh yeah, so it's a no. I won't combine those channels anytime soon because of the reasons I gave. Hurty Dwarf says, I got the enlightened ending first try on your newest interactive video. Was so weird. I didn't even try for the endings. I felt as though I won right off the bat. Fakes reveal at 50k. Oh, he likes to ask a whole bunch of different questions at once, so I'll answer them in sequential order. The enlightened ending at the end of my interactive one was actually like one of the last things I wrote in it. I was like in the middle of editing the video itself, and I realized that I hadn't made an option for going up the stairs. I was like, oh shit. I had originally planned to write something for that to be another dead end, but I was like, well, I kind of don't really have that many actual endings, so I'll just turn this into an ending, and I just wrote down bullshit philosophy as the enlightened end. And it seemed a lot of people actually like that one. I was like, oh, that's cool. I literally wrote this ending in like 5 minutes. It's just random bullshit. But it seems people like random bullshit. I mean, I already knew that, but it sometimes surprises me. Anyway, face reveal at 50k? Nope. You forgot about the laugh animation that the Tauren has that you use quite a bit for Dave. It's not about the fact that you... Oh, okay. I think that one's in relation to the thing where I was talking about how machinima characters for WoW models only have like 3 different models they can use for actually talking. Alright. I don't know who's calling, but I don't answer calls that I don't know. Anyways, the machinima things, they only have like 3 like facial animations for actually talking, and you just cycle between them. I don't use the laugh one that often. It's not the fact that you talk about the money, it's the fact that a majority of partnerships do not want you talking about income. Partnerships don't want you talking about income. I mean, I guess there are some. I never actually use real numbers. And I'm not going to talk about YouTube money anymore. I already talked about it enough. Let's see. You respect people who do well on YouTube. Well, I don't do well on YouTube. Does that mean you don't respect me? Well, Hurty Dwarf... yes, that's exactly what that means. I own a Razer Naga. It's a really good mouse for any type of game. Mine is still going strong after 2 years. I should really get a Razer Naga. Maybe I'll buy one from Yaktronics. Yaktronic.com. They sell custom mouses that include the Razer Naga. Use hirumaredx for 7% off your purchase. I think that's in relation to... I was talking about my sponsorship. Yaktronics decided to sponsor my channel, where I just put an ad at the end of some of my videos. Not all of them, just some of them. And I just talk about their website. And I don't really mind. I usually ignore sponsorship deals, but this time I took it because it's for Razer Naga mouses and custom designs and stuff, and headphones and headsets. And it's like, well, I use all these things. Why would I not talk about them, considering it's totally relevant to WoW? Let's see. Moltzen Skills says, did you know that your voice is gold? Oh, why? I actually have been getting that a lot. It's apparently a lot of people really like my voice. I don't get it. I think it's really monotone and boring. I use a different voice when I record videos, just because in the few times I have used my real voice for my videos, people always complain about how boring it is. But I also get people who say the complete opposite. They say they really like my normal voice. That's cool. Maybe I'll name my VOD channel like Hiru's ASMDR. You know, the boring voice that'll put you to sleep. What are those videos called? They're like the sounds that make you go to sleep. I think that's what I'll call my VOD channel, since they'll be like 2 to 3 hours videos long of me just talking. So lots of opportunity just to fall asleep to my monotone voice. Let's see. Schatchpoo says, what the fuck does lorem ipsum dolor sit amet mean? Well, I kind of just went over that already. You know, it's Schatchpoo. He actually comments on a lot of my videos, and he told me how to pronounce his name right once, and I totally forgot. Oops. It's spelled S-C-H-P-A-U, so Chapu? Maybe the S is silent? I don't know. Let's see, Alithian Fox says, you know, I really enjoy watching your vids, man. Especially these Q&As. I usually listen to them when drawing. Your voice is relaxing and you live a pretty interesting life. I wouldn't say my life is, well, I have done a lot with my life. I've lived a lot more than most people should have before their teenage years because of what I went through with my drug-addicted mother. I have tons of stories to tell. Plus, I like to do stuff. I wouldn't say it's the most interesting life in the world, but I wouldn't say my life is boring by any stretch of the imagination. Since you do seem like a problem solver, here's a question. Do you have any tips for a WoW player who only has one hand? I've been playing since vanilla, but only started doing max level content in WoW and Kata because I was like 9 when I started. And I've been having issues with keybinds considering all I have available is right hand and a left elbow stump that's too broad and has too little nerves in it to effectively hit keyboards with. I'm a casual healer and tank at this point in time, but I'd like to expand to become MLG Pro. But I'm unsure if I'll ever even make it a normal raid without the possibility to effectively bind my keys. Well, Elithan Fox, there is this thing called a gamepad. Fuck, what's it called? I know Yaktronic sells one. I'm going to go to their site right now. Keypads, there we go. Keypads, they have like a mouse to the right-hand side of it, or left-hand side, depending on which hand you have. And it also has keybinds to it. It's like a mouse and a keyboard in one. So as long as you learn how to move with your mouse, actually you could probably do the same thing with the Razer Naga, but it literally has like a little joypad on it that we can move around with it. There are totally keypads that allow you to play WoW with just one hand. Like the one I'm looking at right now, the Tartarus keypad. Let's see, wired custom Tartarus keypad has 25 fully programmable keys, including an 8-way thumb pad. It also has an adjustable pad for smaller/bigger hands. So yeah, they have things for people who only have one hand to play. And you'll be able to play probably just as well as anyone else. I know I have a friend who... actually, no, that's still 2 hands. Yeah, you can do it. You probably won't be MLG Pro at playing, but you can play at a totally competent level. I mean, you probably could hit MLG Pro if you're like amazing at it, but if you're not one of the 1%ers, there are totally mouses out there that let you do it. Let's see. Let's go on to the next one. Let's see. Quinn Hess says, I think your Dave and DevBot series deserves more views than it gets. You and me both. Molten Skills says, I love you videos. I have a question. Can you make a sequel to Top 10 Ways to Die in World of Warcraft? Probably not. Because that video was pretty hard to find 10 interesting ways to die in WoW in the first place, and I can't really think of 10 other interesting ways to die in WoW that would make an interesting video. That video was suggested to me by Void Shrine on my subreddit, which I still have, and I used a couple of his ideas. I also looked up a whole bunch of other ones just to find 10 interesting things I could just put in a video. It's not really top 10, it's basically, here are 10 things I could find that won't bore you to death, that are ways to die in WoW, that aren't, dying to raid bosses. And the video's not doing half bad. It has like almost 50,000 views right now, which is pretty good. Doing a follow-up to it, though, is not gonna happen. I can't think of 10 more. It was hard enough digging up just 10. Okay, so, next question. Pink Devilfish says, Pop your battle pets up on this channel, and I'm sure a few of us would watch them. Well, Pink Devilfish, I have started doing one of those a week, so, yeah. Andris Tigison says, can I add you on Battle.net so we can play Heroes of the Storm sometimes? Then you will have a friend, but I won't be online most of the time because I live in Denmark 8 hours ahead of you. We can play a few games about 12 p.m. your time. I mean, we totally could, but whenever I play Heroes, I usually only play like a game or two, and I play it at random times, so unless I actually see you online playing Heroes of the Storm, like in the lobby, I probably won't ask because I'll just play by myself. I would actually really like to play with other people, but I don't have the time to actually schedule that out, where I wouldn't just basically just interrupt them for days like, hey, do you want to drop everything you're doing to play like one game with me? It's like, sure, why don't you? Let's see. Septimus098 says, have you ever tried Dark Souls, Hiru? Its world design is Metroidvania-like, you said you liked. Plus, it has the added benefit of being an amazing game. If by some chance you actually see this and decide to take a stranger's recommendation, then try the first Dark Souls. It's the best in the Soul series, in my opinion. Dark Souls, I'm not actually sure if it's a Metroidvania or not. If it is, I'll play it. If it's not, then I probably won't. Mize Bandin says, I love the interactive story. Very well made, exciting, and hilarious. Why, thank you, Mize Bandin. I think it was pretty hilarious myself, especially the shark ending, which a lot of people seem to like, where you turn into a shark and learn that Murky is your father. Okay, so that's the end of this video. I wanted to make it less than an hour, but it looks like I went over that mark a little bit.